the height is enough for me. Can I see the camera?
Well, hi guys. Thanks for joining us. Isabel just jumped in here, but we're going to get to your questions and comments in a little bit, but we had some excitement tonight, didn't we? A little bit of fun and excitement.
Yep.
What happened?
Yep.
What happened?
He got into a little bit of fight.
I got into a fight with some Chinese people.
Yeah.
But before we tell that story, first I need to preface it with we went to KFC tonight. We were going to go to the barber shop, get my hair cut, but we went to KFC beforehand. And it was very crowded at KFC. And I saw a table open. I went and I stood there and I put my hand on it to say, hey, I'm going to take this. I just need someone to come by and wipe it down, clean it off.
Actually, you didn't really say that you were going to sit there.
I stood there and put my hand up because it was dirty and I wanted a guy to come by and wipe it down. But then there was a Filipino woman that came and she just totally ignored me and sat down and stuff. And I decided, well, I'm not going to make a big deal about this. She's with her family. They have kids and stuff. And I saw another table was going to open up. So to be a nice guy, I didn't say anything. I just let them take it. And we went and sat there. And then Saki told Imabel what happened, what this lady did. And Imabel's like, oh man, that's so bad. Do you want me to go slap her or something? Imabel was really angry that someone disrespected me. But I'm like, no, it's okay. Let's just enjoy our dinner. I don't think she was literally going to slap her. She wants me to tell you. But anyways, I said, let's just have a nice family dinner. Don't worry about it. They're with their family. We got a table. Everything's fine. But they kind of got in my head, these two, about it. Like I'm too nice of a guy and I'm letting people bully me and I'm a pushover for other people. And I think that kind of got in my head. So then what happens is we go to the barber shop and there was some Chinese people in there waiting. I didn't think anything of it. Now I had an appointment for a haircut. I go to this place all the time. I'm a regular customer. Really like the job that this guy does. But what happened is the woman, the receptionist, the woman working the front desk, she started talking to Imabel and she started to say, what happened really is we made an appointment for earlier in the day, then we made the appointment later, we got busy, and we still had our appointment for this evening. And then the lady working the front desk, she said, these Chinese people are really angry at me.
They were staying long.
Because they felt like they'd been there first, even though I guess she tried to tell them that I had an appointment. They didn't believe her or whatever. And she asked Imabel, can you just let them go first? And I thought about for a moment, like, we don't really have to let them go first. I have an appointment. But then I thought, well, you know what? We were going to go to the store anyways. I said, okay, just let them have it. We'll go to the store. They can have it. And what happened is the guy got up, the Chinese guy got up, and he just didn't acknowledge me, ignored me, walked down, sat down. And I said, well, you could have said thank you. I decided to say something. I said, well, you could have said thank you. He was still ignoring me. And I said to his wife, hey, be nice, say thank you to me. And I didn't even know if she spoke English. And she's like, what? And I'm like, do you speak English? And she said yes. And I'm like, well, I explained to her, look, I gave up. You saw me give up our space for you to be nice to you, and you don't say thank you to me. And then there was a little bit of an argument that came out, and what do you think, Saki?
I think
you were kind of shocked, weren't you?
Yeah, because you're not like that, seriously.
And Imabel was shocked because she told me that she's never seen me like that before. Because normally I'm a very mild-mannered guy, don't really get angry. So, and I'm always the type, my philosophy is, if there's a question between whether you're right or wrong, don't fight about it, just let the other person have it. It's not worth it. That's just kind of my personal philosophy. And Imabel was quite shocked. Saki was shocked because they've never seen me act like this, but these guys got in my head. But really, this goes back to many years before. A job that I had when I was young, I used to manage an apartment building in Los Angeles. And I had this boss, he was a Jewish guy from Iran, and coming from North Dakota, I can say I've never met anyone like this. I've never dealt with anyone like this. And I can say one thing I'm very thankful for was that I worked for this guy because it was a big learning experience. This guy was beyond a jerk. And I mean beyond a jerk. This guy would actually try and get his apartment building managers, guys like me, to actually do things illegal for him. I remember one time this dude actually tried to get us to go, he tried to get all his apartment building managers to go testify for him in court and lie under oath. And I was the only American, I think, working for this guy. So I had a little bit more say, but I wasn't used to dealing with complete jerks like that. And it was a learning experience not to let people walk all over you, even if they're your boss. Especially, obviously, don't let people talk you into doing something illegal for them, especially when you don't really have something to gain. Now, the rest of this guy's employees, they were people like from places like the Philippines or Korea, and I think he kind of could hold legal status over their head somehow, like maybe he was holding their working visas or was somehow responsible. But that's another story. What I learned from that big time jerk, and I'm very thankful for the experience actually, is you got to know when to stand up to people, and you can't let people walk over you. And there's snakes out there. That's something, having such a nice upbringing in North Dakota and a very idyllic upbringing in such a nice place. I never really experienced that before. So I didn't even really know there was people like that out there. So the moral of the story should be get into fights. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting. Well, no, that's not actually it.
Objection! Even
That's
though you
not
don't really
actually it.
see me, I think my face is like half. So at least you hear my voice.
Well, the real moral of the story is, and I know a lot of you guys out there, you're naturally nice people like me. A lot of you guys did have good upbringings and stuff, but you do have to be careful. Kind of like I have that other video on this channel. I think it's called Ugly Americans in the Philippines, where those guys said, "Hey, I was sitting there, and the guy said, "Hey, we have more people coming, go," and I did it, and then I kind of felt bad about myself. Why did I have to be a nice guy? You don't have to be that way, so you have to be careful. And like I said, if you're like me, it's probably going to go against your natural instincts to make a fuss or make a scene or stand up and tell someone no. But if you don't tell people no in life, there's a lot of times that it's actually going to get you into trouble. I've talked about that in other videos, especially when you go to other countries. You have to be okay saying no to people's requests, but people will mistake your kindness for weakness, so be careful about that. I'm not saying don't be kind, don't be a nice guy. I'm still a nice guy. But for whatever reason, I guess because you guys were in my head, I decided to take a little bit of a stand.
First of all, hi guys! Thank you for joining us on
Oh
this
yeah,
live
and this
stream.
is my first time.
Your first-
Saki is joining us on the live stream for the first time. I'm sure many of you guys have seen Saki on several vlogs already. And can I say something about like what you were talking about earlier? I did not really say I wanted to slap that lady. It was just an exaggeration. My point, I was trying to
No.
what I was trying to point out is that since you know that you got to that table first and you were touching the chair, it could have been an obvious, sign that you were already reserving it for you and you were just waiting, you were just waiting for me anyways because I was ordering, right? But that I would say that was very disrespectful for that lady to just grab that table, even though it was obvious that you already had it. Plus, her husband actually told the lady, right? That that's what did the husband say to the lady?
That it's theirs.
She said, "I don't need to thank you."
No, we're talking about
Oh.
the KFC thing.
Oh,
You're
she didn't
confused
say
now.
anything. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
deleting some spam.
So I mean, the husband recognized or the husband acknowledged his, putting his hand on the chair, but the lady apparently just ignored it. And then while I was looking at them, I said, okay, I guess that was fine because they have kids with them, but still that was disrespectful. So it wasn't worth it to talk to them and, ask them or whatever. But in a barber shop, yes, that's true. I was actually shocked when Travis did that because normally it's me that would, be firm and expressing my point, especially if I'm right. Although I believe that you don't really have to stress your point or to always insist, even though you're right, just to be at peace. But it was because you told them, right. I haven't really followed everything. You told She knows that the Chinese couple knows that we had an appointment, and so we came. So we're gonna have Travis get his hair cut. But then, since they were waiting for a long time, they wanted to be served already. This I did just We just didn't want the staff to get into trouble. Actually,
Well, that's part of the reason
we were
I
trying to
eventually
help
left
the
either.
front desk officer, the staff. We're trying to help her, do her job um, easily. So we were already saying like, okay, fine, let's let them have it. But on the others, at the back of my mind, also, I was like, why can they not wait? We have an appointment anyways. Why would they not
Maybe
respect
there was
that?
some miscommunication on, and they didn't fully understand the situation. But whatever, like I said, you got to be careful being too nice, and that's always been my problem. You'll feel bad about it. You got to somehow get comfortable standing up to others, and you got to be okay, like at times standing out a little bit and making a little bit of a scene.
Yeah, and
And
so
that goes against a lot of people's natural instincts like mine. And I'll tell you something too, like a lot of big people like me, physically large people, they're they're very nice people, like that gentle giant. And a lot of the times I've noticed large people, at least in the United States, don't get along well with small people because small guys in the US, it's not like that here where in a country like this where most people are small, they don't really have this attitude. But in America, they have what's called that small man complex, and they can be very aggressive, almost like little chihuahuas and stuff. And some of them, I almost think they get a thrill out of. Are you taking a picture? I think I just heard
no.
you. Well, I think some of those small guys almost get a little bit of a thrill out of, trying to boss around larger people. Like I said, that's not really applicable so much to a country like the Philippines, where most people are generally small. I don't think you see that attitude here. But in the U.S., I think it's a very prevalent thing, and most large guys I know in America, they're gentle giants. I mean, they don't. I think there's something about when you know that you're big and physically imposing, and you know you could hurt people, you don't really want to hurt people and you don't really feel like you need to prove something. Whereas you have like a lot of little guys kind of doing that. Maybe that's a little bit how these Chinese people were feeling, but it's
Mhm.
kind of, we all had a good laugh about it in the barbershop when I came back. Like I said, I'm a regular and they know me there. And, so it was all, we were all just joking about it. So it wasn't that
Yeah.
big of a deal.
So when Travis started to talk to the Chinese lady, and the staff told me that that Chinese lady was actually angry at her. I think is the feeling of like, I'm Filipino, the staff's Filipino, and she's just doing her job. We had an appointment, so it's just but right for her to accommodate us since we already had an appointment. Um, but what actually kind of,
We're not ignoring the chat to you guys that
yeah,
are talking
we
about
just
that.
want to give you
Like I said, we'll get to you guys later.
Let us
Hold
give you a
on.
better picture of what happened. What really annoyed me, to be exact, was when she said something like, I will not say thank you to you.
I like how.
Why would I say thank you to you? Like, as I said, well, you know what? We Filipinos, we are very friendly. We do our best to be nice to people. And when someone gives his or you gives way for us just so we'll be accommodated first, even though someone else should take that slot, we say thank you to the people. We're very friendly and we're very welcoming to the people, especially to non-Filipinos. But I don't know if she understood everything, so I'm not sure if that was
Oh,
worth
I
it.
think she understood. But
So,
the one thing too, like I said, I'm not really embarrassed about how I'm acting. I think she was a little worried that I'm going to get out of line, but I'm cool. I'm in control. Plus, I know there's security cameras there, so nothing's going to get too crazy. It's not like I cussed those people out. I just said, hey, we did something nice for you. You should say thank you to that because I mean it's true. So I'm not
yeah.
ashamed of my behavior. And like I said, when we came back to the barber shop after going to the store, we all had a good laugh about it, all the barbers and even the receptionist. So I just said, hey, I added a little bit of excitement for you guys. Had to make your night a little bit entertaining.
I was even asking the staff. I said, "Did I look like I was really a bad woman earlier?" She was, "No, ma'am, you were really right." I guess she was glad that I spoke something like that because she couldn't really say that to her. But I mean, we didn't mean to start a fight or anything. But I just really wanted
But it was
to.
kind of fun.
I simply wanted to make my point clear because when I go to another country, I don't try to be so mean to others. I try to be friendly to them. I do my best to adjust to them and to their culture. And now that they're in our country, hopefully they will also be flexible towards other people, But it's not even about culture, it's just basic. When something does nice for you, it would also be nice to say thank you, right? Even when they laughed, the staff told me that I don't need to thank him. I will thank you, but not to them. Like, okay, fine, if that's what you want.
What you bring up another good point too, I think, about when you're in someone else's country, and definitely as someone that's traveled to a lot of other countries by myself, I'm very careful not to start trouble or anything like that, or upset. I try and adhere to their local customs as
Mm-hmm.
best as I can as a guest in their country.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I've learned from spending so much time outside of my own country, as much as the politically correct crowd tries to rally against this, they say that tribalism is wrong and we shouldn't do it. Well, that might very well be, but guess what? The reality out there is people are tribalistic. And we have another friend that is actually, he's not Filipino, but he's Asian American. And he got into a fight. He was told us this story. He got into a fight at a bar here in the Philippines. And he said, in the Philippines, man, if they see a foreigner, even if you're Asian and kind of look like them, they will still know you're not from here. And if they don't, even if they don't know what the fight is about, if they see a Filipino fighting with a foreigner, all the Filipinos will jump in, and that's what happened to him. Like there's like 20 guys on him. They knocked him unconscious, were kicking his head in, and so that's how tribalistic people are. It's kind of a reality that we can't get away from. Now maybe you should argue that we shouldn't be, but I kind of have the philosophy of we shouldn't necessarily try to change the rules of the world. We should just learn what the rules of the world are and try and work within those as best as possible instead of trying to fight an uphill battle of trying to change the world and trying to change things like evolution. Tribalism probably comes out of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, those people, those politically correct people, they're anti science.
When we had that experience earlier, what came to mind was my experience on my flight from Manila to Guangzhou, China. And then when we were worried that we won't make it to the flight, and the staff of the airlines at the counter, most of them were just so rude. Like, working in that kind of industry, plus considering customer service, of course, they have the nerve to like raise their voice on you and still be the ones, you know, behaving like that. Like, why would you be like that? But anyways, no one's perfect. So I guess
No doubt about it.
we just have to be more understanding, you know, chill. But sometimes when you really know you're right and you're being pushed to your limits, we're human beings, so we tend to, give in, but still we should be stronger than that. And by God's grace, it's not impossible to always be patient, always be more understanding, and always be more flexible.
And Jimmy Dore, my name is Isabel, yes, but the spelling is Yasabel, not I.
And that's Imabel. Isabel and Imabel. We call her Saki, though. We didn't mean to ignore you guys.
Oh.
Peter Rocco hooked us
Clap,
up
clap,
with a
clap.
$5 super chat. We do appreciate it. And I believe Peter's still supporting us on Patreon, and there's a link in the description. we do appreciate all you guys that are supporting us financially to put these videos out because we do have a cost and you can very easily lose money going out and shooting stuff. So if it means something to you what we do, hit us up on Patreon. You can super chat us while this is live. We super appreciate you doing that. It really means a lot to us. And that way we know our stuff really means something to you because you don't really know sometimes whether it's
Yeah.
important.
And the thing with Patreon, we call them our Patreon family, those who help us in Patreon. We receive a lot of questions asking for travel tips, safety advice, even visa questions, and dating questions. But of course, there are so many messages and emails that we get. As much as we want to address all of them, of course, we cannot because we also have to shoot videos. We also have to take care of other things. And but with the Patreon family, we know who to prioritize. And so, to your Patreon family, if you're watching right now, you know that you can always message us if you have questions or anything like that. And Peter Rocco, thank you so much. Peter,
And we got
yeah,
oh,
hold on. I
yes.
always appreciate Peter Rocco because in the previous live streams, he also did what's oh now I'm confused. What's this again? What's this called again? The super chat. Yeah, thank you for your super chat, Peter Rocco. Go ahead, Travis.
Excuse me, George did. We always need manners. You said we don't need manners.
Shout him out.
Huh?
Shout
Give a
him out.
shout out.
Jason Herring.
Yay!
And what did Jason Herring do? Shout him out.
I don't know.
You don't know. It
Thank
says right there.
super chat.
$2 super chat from Jason Herring. Thank you so much, Jason. I see you in the comments of our videos, and it's really nice to see you
And
guys think. And
Jason said, "Hello everyone. How's grandpa and family?" Travis.
oh, I didn't even see his question. I'm so
That's
sorry
it.
because the
Travis,
questions are coming
the
in.
comments are moving so fast.
We need a moderator for this. Maybe someday Saki will be promoted to our
Yeah.
moderator because it's hard to do the
Yeah.
comments and chat at the same. Jason Herring says, "Hello everyone, and how's Grandpa and family, Travis?" Well, I think they're doing really wonderful. We have you'll. I'm trying not to give away too much, but
Surprise!
they're doing good. And I do
They're
appreciate you
doing
asking.
well by God's grace, and just watch out for
It-
more.
it's really nice to it's really nice to know that someone like Jason cares
Yes,
about
we appreciate
not
that.
just us, but our more extended family of mom, dad, grandpa. Grandpa just turned 94 years old a couple weeks ago, and he doesn't even know that people have watched him on the internet. So it's really thrilling to share my grandfather with you guys. He's a character, man. He's old school. He's from another world. I don't really know what he would think of this world if he knew everything's that's going on. Like that we have pansexual characters in Star Wars right now. The first thing he'd probably say is, "What the heck does pansexual mean?" Well, that means you like everything: men, women, animals. The character in Star Wars, it's the new version of Lando Calrissian, whatever his name is, the black guy from Empire Strikes Back.
Mhm.
They're doing these prequels, Han Solo, then they're going to give him his own solo movie, and the writers claim he's pansexual, and he's into droids. So he's actually attracted to robots, and that's what he likes. And these are children's films. You saw that last video I did where they said they're trying to get you to think a certain way about things, and so they're putting this in children's movies. They're not really trying to hide that they're trying to convince people to be a certain way anymore. So,
Well, speaking of that, it's just so crazy that it's supposed to be a movie for kids, right? And that's what they're promoting. That is but a simple reminder for parents and just for all of us to be extra careful, to be extra choosy in the movies that we show our kids. And even for us adults, we have to be more discerning and wiser, whenever we watch these movies. It's like they're sending these messages. They're trying to make people think that this is normal. This is this is normal. You can do this, But if you have that strong discernment and if you stay wise, then you would know that that's not it, right? So I guess this is the time that we have to be more aware of how we should respond to everything that's happening. And personally, I think what helps me is to stay connected to my to my faith and always know what God would say about these things.
Well, I would say too, instead of supporting these Star Wars movies or just whatever else, if it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mesh with your values, uh, it's cool to support independent artists like us. Another way, other than just supporting us on Patreon or the super chats, is share our videos. Spread them to other people if you like what we do. Maybe you don't want to share every video we do for whatever reason. Maybe you don't think it's appropriate for whoever follows you on
Mm-hmm.
social media. But that's another way. There's a few ways to support indie artists. One way, of course, is financially. Me personally, I'd rather give my money to independent artists than go see a new Star Wars movie and support these huge corporations. Not that I'm anti big corporation or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I would just rather give it to like independent artists that are creating and doing things on their own. But the other way I would say is to share the work of an independent artist that you like, whether that's someone creating something on YouTube, musicians, filmmakers, whatever. You can share their work with others and get other people following them. And another way is simply just to comment on their work and let them know that you appreciate it. Say some kind words for that. Like I said, it's not just us, but any independent artist, doesn't matter if it's someone creating stuff that's on YouTube, which it almost seems like everyone is these days, though that could be coming to an end as they get more and more corporate.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, musicians, I'm not all that into music right now at this point in my life, but I understand a lot of people are into that. Or films, I'm not really into current filmmakers. I'm not really into too much of the.
Excuse me.
So, are you guys having fun here tonight?
Well, I'm just happy
We have a
that
special guest.
I'm just happy to hang with you guys after a long time. And Saki's having some chips.
Um,
We're we're sorry that we've missed a lot of you guys' comments. They've been scrolling by as we've been talking. One thing when we do these, we have to we have to keep in mind for the playback, people watching the recording.
Right.
So that's why we start out right away with a story or some topic that's on our minds, because we know when people press the button for the replay, you got to get right into it, my friends. So we're sorry to all you people that we've missed your questions, that you've been nice here, leaving us comments and questions. So thank you very much.
Maybe we could try to go back and see if we could still read some of the comments or questions that we could possibly address.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back.
Peter Rocco, thank you.
So thank you guys for joining us live. But like I said, it was an exciting night, and I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about, though that kind of took precedence over everything. We do have a lot of good things coming up in our life, things that we're looking forward to. So that's been on my mind a lot too.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we could try to look at other comments. The comments are really moving fast,
But
so
I do appreciate Jason asking about mom, dad, and grandpa.
yeah.
Something I was thinking about actually that we didn't put in the series of videos that I should have. It would have added a little bit of clarity, because you might notice my mom, when we went to America,
Right.
my mom was in like the first few videos or so, and then she completely disappeared from the videos, and it was just me, it was just dad and grandpa in there and some of my dad's friends, and mom was completely absent from those videos, and there was a reason for that, and I didn't show it. I wish I would have, though, to explain why she disappeared, but I didn't film this and I never mentioned it. My mom actually left while we were staying at their house because my brother was expecting another child, and she wanted to go down. She wanted to go to where they were to be for my brother and the birth of their new baby. So she actually left like during that, and we saw her off, but it was at like
It was
3.
very early
It
in
was
the
like
morning.
3 or 4 a.m. and I was so groggy, so tired. And it's that kind of like tiredness when you just wake up where it almost kind of hurts to wake up. That's how tired you are. And so I didn't get out of camera and record anything, but it kind of needed to be in there to show, hey, she's going away. She won't be in the rest of the ones from here on out, just to let people know that. So I feel kind of bad about that. We didn't cut my mom out of the series
Yeah.
because we had any kind of problem with her or anything, but she just kind of disappeared with no explanation. But it's because she left to be with my brother who was expecting a new baby. That was all.
Yeah. Janice Brown, hi, you're here in the room. Thank you for joining us. And he's part of our Patreon family, of course. Thank you. I'm trying to see who else in our Patreon family are joining us tonight. Okay, how do I go up? We would love to send a shout out to all of you guys, but since the comments are really moving so fast and there are a lot, so hopefully you'll understand that we cannot say your name one by one, but rest assured, we really appreciate
And now Saki
everything.
scrolling through them.
Saki, please don't touch the screen so we could try to check if we could read the other.
We got to teach her how to do it so she can be a moderator.
Yeah. Let me see. I wanna...
Saki even commented. She was one of the first comments in the chat.
Speaking of first commenter, hi Joel George out there. Thank you. You were like one of the first early birds in the room. Let's see. Go
Melvin asks cousin Tom whereabouts. Well, he was actually just here.
A few months ago.
He was here a few months ago,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Just a few months ago.
Yeah, but we don't have any videos with him. We mentioned that to someone that was supporting it, one of our patrons that supports us over on Patreon. And I mentioned that he was here, and they said, oh, well, you're going to have some awesome videos coming out with him. We didn't shoot any videos with him. I posted one photo in the community section, but he was just here. I think he's doing well other than that. He listens to these sometimes, usually listens to the recordings when he's at work, which if you guys have a lot of time to spend where you're kind of bored and have nothing else to do, is what you can do is you can offline videos, like there's like a little arrow under it. You press that, it saves it to like an offline section. So if you're somewhere and you have no internet, you can still watch it or listen to it. You can do that to these longer form content like this. We haven't actually done a live stream in a long time.
Yeah. It's great to be back on a live stream with you guys.
Andy says, hey Travis, hey there. I didn't quite understand for a second. He says, how's the lovely life with the new glasses? How
lovely
are you?
Wife. Oh, thank you. I was just actually thinking about getting another pair of eyeglasses because it's I think I need to get one more, an extra glasses. Extra third pair, I guess. And
well, yeah, we have those. Those are blue ones that I picked out for you a while ago. My dad bought you some blue ones. They ended up breaking, so we replaced them with those, which are also nice.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Malvin was the one that I saw. Remember I told you it was on a live stream. I said I was on the way back home, and someone talked to me, and he said he has been watching our channel, and he really loves the vlog series of us in the U.S. And he said he was really touched by the vlog where we had to say bye to Grandpa. So if that's you, Malvin, thank you again. Or if it's not you, thank you still for joining us.
Someone says, how long have you been living there? Too long. I've been coming here since the early 2000s, but I'm definitely looking forward to some things. Imabel was just she was just asking about my college, I went to school in Michigan, and she was saying, hey, do you ever, when we're there, can we go to visit Michigan? Would you be open to that? And I said, well, unfortunately, no, not at this time because I don't really have any reason to go back to my old university, and it's very far away. Like I said, I went to school in Michigan, so it's probably not very likely that I would be around Michigan anytime soon. I would like to if the chance if there's ever a chance, if there's an opportunity that I'm in that area for something else, but I don't think I would ever go to Michigan again just to go there, but I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind going as long as we're in the area. There's a lot of parts of America I would still like to see.
Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't mind visiting Michigan again. It's just I'm not going to go there. She would like to go there. She doesn't really have a concept of how far away some of these places are, which Michigan's pretty far. I'd like to go to maybe Louisiana. I've actually never been to Louisiana. There's a lot of places in the U.S., even Montana, which I grew up in North Dakota, and Montana's right next to it, but I never really went to Montana. The only time I've really spent much time in Montana was I drove through it one time driving from Bismarck to Los Angeles. And when I was driving through Montana, I was thinking, my God, this place is huge. It's like, yeah, you drive through it probably over 12 hours to get out of Montana. And I just couldn't believe that a state is that big. So
Yeah.
you might want to get the book.
Yeah. Hold on. Trying to respond to a thing.
So, but that's what I would like to do definitely in the future. That would be the best to. She's getting something, but that's something I'd definitely like to do in the future. See more parts of America that I have not been able to see or spend much time in. You got it?
Yeah, hold on.
So thank you guys for all the comments and questions. Imabel's just getting something. Now Saki's gonna show it. Go ahead, Sak. That's my book, you guys. I get so many questions. This is a hardcover version. There's an e-version on sale on Amazon, but we have a few like printed hardcover versions. And what's nice about this book is, other than practical information that you can actually use, is there's no filler in it. I read books, and there's so many books that are that thick, and you pick it up, even if they're really good, a lot of the times you can just never get through it. It's overwhelming. So I tried to cut all the fat and make it simple, straight to the point, something that you can get through really quick and actually remember the information or look it up again. And there's so many people that tell me they want to move to the Philippines, and it's like, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing something? I think people really need to make a serious decision. And one of the main points of the book is, if people are interested in moving to the Philippines, it's going to help them decide whether they really want to move to the Philippines. Because the bottom line is, so many guys too that think they want to move to the Philippines, a lot of those guys would probably be better off putting their efforts and energy and focus and resources someplace else, because they're going after something that they don't realize they could get somewhere else. Oh, she had to get a pot to sit on so she could be a little taller. More on our level.
See, I'm like as tall as Travis. I have a a height enhancer.
Yeah, she has to have a. She's one of those short people that we were talking about in this country where
So,
most people are small. So she's sitting on
so
a.
when we
Hopefully you're
when we
comfortable.
vlog, I really have to,
It's hard to, like, I have to Dutch angle it because it's hard to get you in the same picture with me because I'm way up here and you're way down there. But your brothers are very tall.
Oh, I'm the shortest in the family.
She's the only girl in the
That's true.
And the eldest.
She's the only girl and the oldest. That's a good point, Saki.
Right.
So Andy says, nice hardcover, and I'm sure that's pretty informative. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's on Amazon. It's only $10. I mean, if if you're interested in doing it, you can buy the book, not buy the book. Either
It's
way,
your choice.
Either way, it doesn't matter that much to me. But so many people ask me these questions, so I put them in a place and talked about things that I have no interest in talking about on YouTube. But I put the information out there for you if you want it. If you don't want it, that's fine too. And $10, some people say, oh, that's too much for a book. It's like,
Mhm.
well, if you can't afford $10 to get you some information that's good and straight to the point, then you probably can't afford to move to another country because that's not the cheapest thing in the world.
Yeah.
There's always hidden costs, regardless of whatever country you're in life. Stuff always comes up. I remember about 10 years ago, I was talking to my grandpa about something. I said, yeah, but it costs money. And my grandpa says, everything does in life. And then I thought about it, I'm like, he's true. Maybe I shouldn't complain so much about having to spend money so often in life. Everything costs in life. So,
Not everything you cost for your wife.
what is there a cost for your wife?
Huh?
Well, for many
In
people,
some cultures,
there's a cost when you divorce your wife.
in some cultures, there's what you call dowry, right?
There's a dowry.
Yeah.
Also, like
Literally, that cost
there's costs too of just dates
something.
and like just life, man. There's
Yeah.
costs, and a lot of the things stuff. There's so many hidden costs and unexpected things come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's life. We can't get around it. I wish we could.
But there are simple joys that do not cost anything. Like just having a good relationship with your family and friends, you know?
I would argue that there could be costs that not like not expensive, but even just costs in
Yes.
terms of you have to give of yourself. If you want to get things in life, you have to give things in life. And someone once told me, to get what you want out of life, give others what they want, and you're going to get what you want. I don't know if that's true. It sounds nice. It might be true. It's something to think about, but I think it very well could be true.
Well, the more you give, the more you receive. So let's try to look at the comments.
Well, we've had a lot
Let's see.
tonight.
I think now I remember. I think Melvin is not because I'm trying to recall that guy who kind of stopped me. At first, I was startled by him, and I started talking to me like, "Oh, I really appreciate your videos and stuff." I think he's not in the Philippines, right? So
I don't even know what that comment means.
Oh yeah. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. You can ask questions too, not just the people in the room. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, not. It's not really like a big question or whatever. Is Uncle T handsome right now because of his hair?
She wanted me to get a haircut. My hair was actually fairly long on the sides and back before this morning, anyways. And when I'd wake up in the morning, especially when you wake up and you're all messed up, it's all like I look like a goth guy. I'm almost like Robert Smith of The Cure when I wake up in the morning. Maybe not the prettiest sight, although I don't know if Isabel minds. But
I need a haircut.
yeah, I guess that's a question for you guys. Am I handsome now since getting my haircut?
What do
It's
you
maybe a
think?
little short on the
What do you
sides.
think, Saki?
Yes, because I like his hair.
And
Okay.
it's getting kind of messed up. I see getting blown around by the fan.
Yeah, I keep like touching my face because it kind of feels itchy whenever my hair is
Me
blown into
too.
my cheeks.
Me too. That's why I keep
Because if
doing
we use
this.
air conditioner, it could be noisy, and we wanna have good audio with you guys. Sometimes the internet messes it up as well. So hopefully you're hearing us well. I don't see any complaints about the audio
We
and
have a
stuff.
question here. What is the culture like right now with current politics? I'm assuming they mean in the Philippines. I'm a seasoned RP resident, so I guess they are asking about the Philippines and speak the language pretty well. Are we treated any different now? Well, I see you have an Irish last name. First of all, I'd ask what race are you? Because kind of relating to what we talked about tribalism before. Um, it says they're a resident, so maybe they're not a citizen or originally from here and they have an Irish last name. That's kind of something that we would need more info about you, my friend, to give you answer for. But here's a good general answer that's going to apply to people regardless of their race or even language they speak, whatever, something like that. I would say the culture, it depends what the culture is like of the people you hang out with. If you're hanging out with knuckleheads, it's going to be a knucklehead culture. If you're hanging out with good people or prosperous people, it's going to reflect that. And you know, people like to complain a lot, but the reality is it's more about who you're around in the general immediate sense, like who's living in your home with you, who are you going out and hanging out with, these types of things. Especially the people in your immediate circle, like your closest friends and your family. What are those people like? That's going to have to do more with anything your view of the world. If you're hanging out with very cool people that are good people, you're probably going to have a very good outlook on
If
life.
you surround yourself with haters and negative people, there's a big chance that you also become like them.
It says he's Caucasian. Well, I would just, my answer's kind of just the same thing. You got to hang out with good people. One thing I would say is, look at this comment, Saki. Look at that.
Saki might not
Her
relate to that.
ringtone.
Oh yeah, well, should we play it?
Uh,
I can play it.
but I'd like to, I got to finish asking this question. It still goes back to whoever you're hanging out with. I'd say one thing, when I first started coming to the Philippines, I was hanging out with all these mostly very well-off people, rich people, people that had far more money than me. And then I'd hear all these other people when I started uploading videos to YouTube from the Philippines and be like, "Oh, Filipinos, they're a bunch of users. They only like you for your money," and they'd say all these things. I'd hear stories like, "Oh, this my Filipino girlfriend and her family invited me to lunch, and then they made me pick up the bill for everyone." And I would tell people, gee, I've never had that experience. I've never experienced that. And people wouldn't believe me about that. But it depends the type of people you're hanging out with, what their IQ is, what their education level is, what their personal cultural background and value system are that they were raised in within their family. And like I said, hanging out with people that had lots of money, they would often take me out. They'd take me out to lunch or dinner or whatever. And it's not a big thing too when people have lots of money. They don't really care. I mean, what's a few dollars to you when you have millions or hundreds of thousands? It's nothing. So, and they're very nice people too.
But we know people and we have friends who are actually rich and they're just naturally generous. So, hold on.
Peter Rocco just asked, Travis, would you ever do a Q&A on stream with your viewers? Well, that's what we're doing right now, unless you mean a private Patreon
we
stream.
were actually going to schedule one for the Patreon family, but because of our schedule, we haven't set one yet. And of course, we also have to consider the schedule of the patrons. But that's really possible. We can. You already you already sent an email before, right? You already you could keep in touch with us, Peter. So feel free to.
Yeah, you can, Peter, since you support us on Patreon and you support us here in the Super Chats, just send us a message anytime.
Like what I mentioned.
We'll make you a priority.
Yeah, like what I mentioned earlier, the Patreon family and the Super Chatters, you guys help us to know who to prioritize in terms of, I mean, whose questions to prioritize because we get a lot of questions every day. And I think Jimmy Dure said, "Are you going to keep doing live chats?"
Well, this is the first one we've done in quite a while, and we're quite rusty. But
what do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah,
do you like us doing live chats like this?
I actually enjoy these at this. In the past couple of years, I've enjoyed these live chats with you guys more than any other thing we do almost. So we'll see, at least maybe for a little while until we totally go off the air here on this channel and end it permanently. But we got CEAA. I want to greet you. I know I talked to you and I sent you a message a couple days ago. So thank you for joining us. We're glad we could see CEAA. And
Hope you're having a great weekend.
I'm still not sure exactly what Peter means by a stream.
Oh, like maybe, Peter, do you mean like a Skype conversation, like a Skype call?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Do you want to play the ringtone?
Yeah.
And this is for someone that referenced this. I don't know
why. Melvin is in Seattle, right?
I don't know why you referenced this, but it's the ringtone on Imabel's phone. I think, Saki, are you going to play it,
Saki want to play the ringtone. Hold on.
Someone said, "I hope the ringtone isn't Baby
Baby
Shark."
Shark. That's
No, it's
funny.
not. It's not that. But that's one of Saki's songs, isn't it?
I hate that song.
Okay, you hate that
Since
song.
You heard it?
since
What?
my classmates was teasing me, baby shark, I was so angry at them. Even the teachers.
Oh.
Well, Donald says he was here for 10 years. He's been gone for 2, and he's coming back soon. Well, 10 years is a long
Here.
time.
This is
Uh,
my ringtone.
Hope you have fun. I hope you
Oh,
have
your
fun
ringtone? I
wherever
thought
you are.
my
Huh?
ringtone.
What's her ringtone? I'm gonna get
Oh, you're
copyright.
gonna get.
We can't play that.
We can't play like.
I'll get
those with
copyright dinged. Play yours.
Yeah, hold on. Stop it.
YouTube's so strict about that, they'll kick us right off of YouTube, so you gotta be careful playing copyright
Hold
written
on.
music.
I'm trying to look at it. Let's see.
Why don't you guys leave a comment and let us know what town you guys are watching us from? Interesting.
Yeah.
We're doing this kind of late at night for us, which we're assuming is morning for most of you guys, because we're trying to sync up with you guys in America.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm feeling tired and sleepy, but we want to stay up late to hang with you guys. And thank you for joining us.
Excuse me. Comment below if you're a dog lover, because I'm a dog lover. You should tell me if you're a dog lover. Okay?
And type your city. Let us know where you're coming to us from.
I'm trying to. Oh, I'm trying. Okay, now.
I'm begging you, please. I'm just asking if you're a dog lover.
Why are you a dog lover, Saki?
Because they're cuter than cats. I'm sorry if who's watching this that is a cat lover. I'll say that. I'm so sorry, but I hate cats.
Well, I'm a cat guy. I'm a cat lover.
It's okay.
And my parents have this big black cat, really kind of fat, obese cat. The cat doesn't really like Imabel so much, but the cat is okay with me.
Yeah,
I've been
I fed her a few times, but there were still times that she would just be, you know.
Hopefully you guys are
Sad.
enjoying spending this time with us as opposed to watching the royal wedding that they're trying to
Oh, is
get
it now?
everyone to. It might have been yesterday. I don't know. Even
Okay.
YouTube on the front page were trying to get us to watch it. I mean, are we really supposed to care about those people? I mean, it's not that I dislike them, but they don't matter to me one way or
Well,
another.
if people want to watch it, then watch it.
And oh yeah, watch Cobra Kai.
Hey!
Are you paid with Cobra Kai?
You can watch it on YouTube Red. It's really good. But beware. Never mind.
She loves it.
Really.
Saki, Cobra Kai.
Never dies.
I don't know where it's saved. My ring.
She's trying to
my
pull
ring
up her
back.
ringtone.
My ring back.
Melixi or Malix. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. I always see you commenting.
How to pronounce your name
I always see you
correctly.
commenting, and we appreciate it. How about doggies?
Huh? No.
Peter Rocco says he loves dogs and cats.
Okay, Peter Alco, thank you for commenting, because I think I didn't see anyone commented who. Well, I love cats a little bit.
Ika Florida says fur's not good for asthma. It surely
Oh,
is
yeah,
not.
I know, because I had asthma, but now I don't have. Thank God.
That's why she doesn't like cats.
No.
Terrence Brown says Cobra Kai, an exciting Karate Kid spin-off series. It was very entertaining. The one thing I didn't really like about it, especially watching it with a youngster like this, is there's definitely a lot of.
Terrence Brown, thank you for saying you wanted to cover.
Well, there's definitely a lot of language in it that's not for kids,
Yeah.
even though it's aimed at very young
But
kids.
I'm not imitating it.
We just actually watched the first 3 Karate Kid movies, and I wasn't like super familiar with them. When I was growing up, like it was something that more older kids were into.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the neighbor kid brought over a VHS tape of the first one
Mm-hmm.
and showed it to my brother. I wasn't really particularly into it, but we just watched them, and I have to say the first three Karate Kid movies, they are pretty good, and it's not really the type of movie that you see being made today, where it's more about heart and soul and real
Yeah.
things, real people that aren't superheroes. It's
Mhm.
just got that heart and soul that you don't find in more modern movies.
Yeah.
Scott Stenstrud, your comment is really funny. Travis, I was wondering, could you please fart for us?
Gross.
Oh,
Gross, gross.
that's funny.
She
Uh,
finds it funny, huh?
Huh?
I've been
Next.
Takio Itigaki, who I'm assuming you're Japanese, but correct me if I'm wrong. I've been watching you for about 7 years. It's great how you never change. Well, actually, first of all, thank you very much. But I would say I've changed a lot. And I've changed so much probably in the past few years that maybe some people they would say you're not really what we expect. I'm still
Well,
I'm
I want to know though, Takeo, in terms of what, because that's a great compliment. Thank you for that, even though I'm not Travis.
I'm still a very positive, nice guy, but I think too a lot of
what's
the
that specific
I think
quality that you admire,
I think a
Travis?
lot of the things that would I think a lot of the things that would surprise people is even like the stuff that I watch. I think when people find out, which by the way, when I watch YouTube videos, I comment on almost every video that I watch. And you know it's me because I have the verified check mark next to my name. And there's so many videos that I comment on, and people are like, whoa, you're here? I wouldn't expect you to watch this kind of video. And it's kind of like, well, why not? You're here too. But I don't really watch that many videos actually on YouTube these days, and I don't watch modern movies. I don't really listen to modern music. I spend most of my time watching old TV shows and old movies. Most recently, I just finished all 4 seasons of WKRP in Cincinnati, and now we're actually watching the new WKRP in Cincinnati from the early 90s. So, and like I said, we watched the first three Karate Kid movies recently. I watch a lot of stuff, TV shows, movies from the 1980s and even earlier.
Uncle Steve?
What?
Jimmy Dore just left. Because
I
you're
don't-
not replying.
Well, go ahead, say something.
I'm sorry.
I haven't seen
Jimmy.
him commenting.
I'm sorry.
Jimmy says, Travis, you never reply to me, so I am leaving. Well,
read his comment.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
apparently Imabel did read your
I
comment,
think I
but
read his comment.
Jimmy Dore, I'm sorry. 'Cause
well,
we didn't really
Like what I said.
keep in mind we have a lot of comments coming in. We're also trying to talk. We're trying to delete spam comments, but you know, she replied to your comment. But Jimmy, if you still feel you need to leave, you got to do what you got to do, man. We're not trying to force anyone to be here with us. So we got
Feel free to type it if you want to, because I mean there are a lot of messages.
Takio,
We
and I
can't read all of them.
Takio, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Takio says, yes, he's Japanese, and he says, but your core hasn't changed. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. If anything, I'd say my core somehow is strengthened, and and yeah, I think my core is kind of strengthened somehow, and some people might not necessarily like it. Dab.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but
Dad.
What?
Melvin says, who's
You
the
don't know
boss?
that?
Tony Danza. You know, it's funny because I used to really love that show as a kid. It would, like I'd get home from school and it was on every day in syndication, playing the reruns. So I saw that as a little kid and I really liked that show. But we just started. They've been playing it on TV again recently, and we just started watching it. And I have to say, there's so much in that show that's blatant propaganda. And I actually shot a video last week. I don't think I've uploaded it yet. I'll upload it in the next day or two, where I mention an episode of Who's the Boss. But there's definitely it doesn't hold up for me. Not because and Tony Danza's charm still holds up, and he's really the core and essence of the show. But it's funny. I follow Alyssa Alyssa Milano on Twitter, and she was just tweeted out something. I guess Time did a story on her because she has anxiety disorder, and it's funny because just about every tweet of hers, it's from Donald Trump. It's about Donald Trump, who she hates, or the NRA, which she also hates. That's every tweet that she does. 90% of her tweets are either Donald Trump or the NRA, and yet then she tweets out that she has anxiety disorder. Well, it's like, gee, why do you think that is that you have anxiety disorder? Could it be that most of your time it seems you're focusing on things that you hate? You're focusing on things that actually give you anxiety, and then she wonders, well, geez, where's this anxiety disorder come from? So that's kind of funny in a not funny way to me. How, you know,
Hi, Melvin Senizal. You watch Full House? Me and Ate Aaron actually watch Fuller and Full House. Right, Uncle T?
yeah.
That's our favorite TV show.
I watched Full House as a kid. I have not watched the new one. I've heard it's not very good. I heard it's not very for kids either.
And I heard that it's Illuminati.
Yeah, I saw some things on the internet. There's definitely a lot of like Illuminati references in it and symbolism. Like how there's a scene where she's DJing at Coachella and she's on like a pyramid thing and there's all this Illuminati symbolism.
I saw that.
The Olsen twins, I guess, they'd had enough and did not come back. Paul says, WKRP? That's ancient. Hi, from Michigan. We talked about Michigan earlier, Paul. I don't think you were here for that. But yeah, WKRP. Well, it's from before I was born, but nonetheless, what I really like about those old shows, even if they're not necessarily actually good shows in many ways, they have that feeling of just fun. They have a sense of fun about them, which so many modern shows.
WKRP.
So many modern shows, they're very well done, but they leave you with heavy feelings afterwards. They leave you with anxiety. There's a darkness about them. They're just pure propaganda. There's that whole lack of just let's have a good time. Let's de-stress from life. Let's just enjoy ourselves.
Marvin Senizzo, my favorite comic book is Archie too. So make sure to say #notification squad if you like Archie.
Where in Michigan are you coming to us from, Paul? Maybe I'll know where it is. Speaking of those shows that leave people, even if they're not really necessarily good shows, but they leave people with good feelings. Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
Oh yeah,
I watched that.
Yeah, which I think is coming back. It had 6 seasons.
That's great news.
It was a hugely successful show, and I watched all 6 seasons. The first season actually is quite a bit different than the other seasons where they retooled it to make his character more like Archie Bunker. But I think that's not really necessarily a good show. It's not necessarily the highest quality show, even if it has a good budget. And it is kind of stupid in some ways. But the reason we watch shows like that is they're good feeling shows. They give us a good feeling, seeing that family of this is what an American family is and should be. They're not perfect and they don't always agree with each other. But in general, it's about living your best life that you can. And it just makes you feel good. That's what makes you feel good. And walking away with a good feeling. It's a good influence. Even if it's not necessarily the most intelligent show, which I don't think it is, or anything like that, or the best show ever, it's a feel-good show, and that's what we like.
Hirako said Dr. Fever.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Fever your favorite character?
I remember the first time I saw WKRP on TV, and I switched channels and I saw it on, and I saw him on Dr. Fever, and I thought, what? The guy from Head of the Class has another TV show where he's a radio DJ? Because Head of the Class was another show I'd get home from school, like elementary school, junior high, whatever, and you turn on the TV and it's on every day in reruns. I don't think they really run that show anymore on TV. I don't know. But I knew him as the teacher from Head of the Class, the high school teacher. And then I saw an episode of WKRP when I was a kid, and I'm like, the guy from the Head of the Class is also a radio DJ on another show.
I want to see that.
Hey guys, here. This is my
That's
second.
what you're into?
Yeah, now. last time it was Archie, now it's Darbo and Pickett. You should you should read it too, but read
my
this
book.
first.
Yeah.
Read this first. Read that first.
I have to say this is really beautiful. The hardcover. Maybe we'll print up a limited run for people that are really into this kind of. I mean, that really want a hardcover bad. The information is the same. Maybe if we do more hardcovers, we'll have like some exclusive features in them. But the information's all there in the e-version. But it's just this is really a beautiful book. It's
Yeah, I read it once and it was so good. Even though I can't real sometimes one page I got really like
Bored? What?
I got bored a little bit and I couldn't really
because
like,
you live here and you
understand.
don't actually need to move here. So some of it was probably information that you don't need.
Yeah.
Paul says he's 20 minutes west of Kazoo in Paw Paw, Michigan. Yeah, I don't really know where that is because that's the wrong part of the state from where I live. I lived in southeast Michigan. And the nice thing about Michigan is, for a map of it, you can just use your hand. So you can say like, oh, so where do you live on Michigan? And they point. Like if you meet someone from Michigan, someone else from Michigan, oh, where do you live? And they'll put their hand up and they'll be like, oh, I live there or I live there. You know, I lived right around here, this part of Michigan, which is southeast Michigan. I lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan,
You lived.
which is about 30 minutes outside of Detroit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's from Western Michigan, which I believe is where Tim Allen is originally from, or went to school. I think he went to Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, and but obviously that's the western part of the state. I'm in the eastern part. Oh, I'm getting a hug here.
Marvin said Golden Girls. I also watched Golden Girls.
That's more for the chicks, though. Peter Rocco says, "Got to run, guys. I'm at work today and need to see my manager. Was projecting your live stream in conference rooms here at my job at AMC Networks, Tessin. Oh, wow.
Super glad for that. We love you, Peter Rocco.
And he's going to join us again on Patreon on Friday. We definitely do appreciate it. Your guys' support makes these videos possible. So let me check the stream.
Have a great day at work.
Let me just check how long
Saki,
we've
are
been
you
going.
sleepy?
No, I'm so excited because this is
Saki's
the first
whispering,
time.
are we done?
You're so excited because this is your first time joining us.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
live stream.
Do you guys like seeing her when she's in the videos?
I think they don't really know me from the other videos.
I have a video on my channel
Yeah.
with her.
I have a lot of videos with him. Not a lot. Just kind of like.
I have a video with her on my channel where she's even the thumbnail. The thumbnail's a close-up of her face.
Yeah, there's a lot of thumbnails.
It has over, well, this one video has over 2 million views.
What, 2 million?
Yeah, that many people were watching you, Saki. You're famous.
Then the ugly two?
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm
I'm popular than him.
MJB and the B2B. Follow him, guys. Follow him to MJB. And let's see.
One thing I'm looking forward to when we're back in America, and I was just talking about this earlier today, I was saying I feel like the TV in America is so much better. Like when we were there last, with Me TV, they have a few good channels like Me TV that I really enjoy watching, where it's all old shows like that. So I think when we're back in America, I'm looking forward to watching a little bit of TV. Dab on the haters.
Yes, dab on the haters.
Kenny Ray said Wonder Years. He likes Wonder Years. I also like Wonder Years.
Yeah, we've been watching some of that. I like the first season the best of that, and maybe some of the later seasons.
Yeah.
So she just scrolled back to the beginning, so I can't see the comments.
Hold on, I'm trying to look at some. Maybe we have missed something really interesting that we could read, So, but the comments are really moving so fast. That's why I'm not sure if we could really see all of it.
So, Imabel, why did you want to see my old school in Michigan?
Well, you saw my university, University of Santo Tomas, so I guess I would, I would also want to see your school.
Well, my school is very much like many other large universities across the United States.
Mhm.
Of it's a mix of really terrific and really awful, all in the same place. Like so, and some of my professors, man, they were flat out crazy. These are guys that should not have been hired to clean the toilets, let alone be a professor of a university. But you know, I say harsh things about my old university, even though there's a lot of really good things about it. But I know that this is something that's kind of universal with all these big universities across America. They don't really teach you things. It's just people, professors. My brother's a college professor, by the way. But a lot of these college professors, it's like they get these jobs where it's probably hard for them to be fired, and then they just go off into complete crazy land. They don't even a lot of the times they don't even teach the subject that they're hired to be teaching. They just say, "I'm going to do whatever I want."
Mhm.
So, which I could tell you some of those stories, but of what went on in my college classes, but they'd probably be too politically incorrect for YouTube. Either that, or they're so extremely politically correct that that I wouldn't want to share them.
Michael McIlroy. Yeah, am I pronouncing it right? If not, please correct me. So, hi guys. If I remember it right, are you the one who has a Filipino wife from Samar? If you're that, hi again. If you're not the one, that's okay. Thank you for joining us. Though I'm trying to recall it. That's why.
Thank you for joining, everyone who's watching.
CEAA asks, when do you plan to go back? Soon.
I'll send you a
Soon.
message.
I'm doing. I just started. I just started. I just started running again. And maybe I shouldn't share this because it might make me look bad, but it could really help some of you guys. So maybe what the heck? Maybe I should share it.
Go
I just
ahead.
started running again, and I haven't ran. I actually haven't ran seriously for like 10 years. Now, when we got back from America last year, I actually started. I was going to start a running program, and I was doing sprints, and I pulled a hamstring, so then I kind of put the
Yeah,
kibosh on
yeah.
it. So I haven't really ran seriously for like 10 years. Cardiovascular wise, there's times when I'm in pretty good shape. You've seen in some of the videos where I carry you up the stairs on my
Right.
back up,
That's
and
on
I do
some videos.
I do more than 40 flights of stairs, which you got to have good cardiovascular conditioning to do that. But I haven't ran, so I just started running again a week ago, and like I'm running on the treadmill, and there's a couple reasons for that. Here in the Philippines, there's a lot of air pollution. It's hot outside. You could get hit by a car easy. There's
Mhm.
potholes everywhere, and plus running on pavement, it's a lot harder on your joints. And as you get older, it airs. I don't really want to pound on my joints. So
Right.
I'm running on a treadmill,
That's safer.
which I don't know if it's, yeah, in some ways those can be quite dangerous too, and there's a whole other load
Safer
of
than
problems
not
with it.
knowing of a possible
But
manhole.
the thing about a
So you
treadmill, what
could
I like
fall.
about it, and a lot of the reason I run on it, is it is softer on your joints. Now,
Mhm.
one of the problems with treadmills is they're not as hard as running on the ground. It doesn't take as
Mhm.
much effort because you're staying in one place when you're on the treadmill and the thing's just coming out from under you. If you're running on the ground, you have to actually propel yourself forward, and it takes more
Mhm.
energy to do that. So
Mhm.
it's more difficult. Well, I just started running again, and I'm easing into it. My goal is to get down to run a mile in less than 8 minutes, which people are probably laughing at me now after saying that. But keep in mind, I'm well over 200 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy. When you're that heavy, distance running. But I figure if I can do it, get back to under 8 minutes. 10 years ago, I was doing a mile in about 6.5 minutes, which for a big guy, I was under 200 pounds at that time too when I was doing it.
Mhm.
But for a big guy, that's pretty good. The fastest I've ever ran a mile in my life was in sixth grade when I was 12 years old. I ran one in 5 minutes and 32 seconds. But after that, I started lifting a lot of weights and put on a lot of muscle and got a lot heavier. And I've never gotten anywhere close to being able to do that again. So my best time is when I was 12 years old, and that's always going to be my best time. I'm never going to beat that as a 12-year-old. But so I started running again, and the first day I ran a mile in 14 and a half minutes. Now, people are really probably laughing hearing that. Now, I wasn't really going all out, I was just jogging to kind of get used to it. So every day I'm going a little bit faster. And you know what? After 3, 4 days, because actually cardiovascular wise, it comes very quick to you. Now you can lose it pretty quick too. So after only 3 or 4 days, even though I was running faster and faster every day, it was getting easier and easier. So I want to get down before we go to America. I want to get down to below an 8 minute mile, which I think is decent for someone my size. And I'm not trying to run as fast as I can necessarily, just be in halfway decent cardiovascular shape.
Yeah, we asked them where they're from. I was gonna say,
Oh,
send a
I
shout
just
out
moved it.
to them.
Well, something I would say too, if you guys are out of shape and you want to get in better shape, don't worry about the first day, the first week being good. Just start out very easy. Don't try and challenge yourself and just do a little bit more and a little bit more and work up to it. Especially if you're really out of shape, it's more important that you start out and break into it very easy. It's better to do too little or not go hard enough than to go too hard and do too
Mhm.
much. That's my advice to you guys. Go ahead.
So now we asked you guys where you're from actually, and Edinburgh is in Palm Beach, Florida. Melvin is Baltimore, Maryland. Irvine, California. That's where Melixi one is, and Candy Rains, you, and Medina, Ohio. Oh, someone's in the
Ooh,
Philippines, out of
Ohio.
Florida. There, Madisonville, Kentucky. T2 Big Kevin. Salt Lake, Salt Lake City, right? Is that
Yeah,
different?
Salt Lake.
Yeah, Jamie Gottman, Jimmy Duray, Virginia Beach. And let's see. Okay, I
Another
think,
Salt Lake.
yeah. Let's see who else.
I think
Okay,
that's it.
that's
That's
it,
everyone else.
right?
Scroll down.
Yeah, okay. Let's go down. It has moved fast. Let's see. Try to catch up.
Come on.
There you
Oh,
go.
look.
Oh, see, I was right. Let's see. Okay, go ahead, you first.
Melvin says 40-story stair climbing is cardio. You're darn right it is. It's very hard, especially like I said when you're as heavy as me and you're logging and you're hauling up over 200 pounds with each step. Then you do that over 40 times, or like sometimes I was doing it with Immobile on my back. I mean, definitely you got to have a strong heart to do that. But running's a little bit different. That's why I'm breaking into that a little bit easier.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So, oh, that's Saki's comment that I was reading. So,
You're not supposed to.
go ahead and say what you're going to say, Immobile.
I was just trying to see what else we have missed.
Well, I think that I'm hungry and we should get going here shortly so I can eat. We've been out the whole day
I'm
busy.
actually feeling tired. I'm just trying to be up and,
Michael
for you guys.
Michael says, Travis, do you still wrestle? Nope. I quit that a long time ago. Still have some nagging injuries from it, but I wrestled for 14 years of my life. Uh, so yeah, I don't do that anymore. There's not really much you can do since there's no real professional wrestling. After the college level for wrestling, there's basically nothing unless you want to try and go to the Olympics, which was, that really wasn't in my interests. Really,
Mm-hmm.
even wrestling after high school is not something that I would have preferred to do, but of course, I got a scholarship for it. And now my school just dropped the wrestling program. So,
Sad.
yeah, sad indeed.
Rules breakers. He's asking how to get a permanent visa. I believe you can simply check out the website of the Philippine immigration, and you'll see instructions there. So go ahead.
That's the best way to
That's
do it.
that's how
That'd be
I
a long
got
thing
some
to answer right
information.
here.
Yeah, and that would give you accurate information. And Michael Phillips, Northern Samar. Okay, I'm not sure what your first message was, but he said best wishes sa iyo, sa YouTube at pamilya mo. Well, that's so nice. Thank you, Michael Phillips.
Michael McIlvoy,
Do you still
McLive.
wrestle? He asked.
Well, I answered that. He says you should try
Right.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did that for a while, but I quit. I quit when I came here.
Right? I remember
So,
that. Yeah,
no.
I remember that.
I have some videos about that, I think, here on my channel even.
Yeah, yeah. Michael McFarland, lately via USA. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe he has a message before that. Let's see.
But Tito Big Kevin says, bye Travis, good show, thank you very much. I'm a big
Have a great day.
Someone else says, I'm a big fan of you guys. I watch your videos, love you so much. We just released several new ones this week, so go watch those. We have a lot on this channel for you guys to enjoy. Any last words, Saki, that you want to say before we go?
Are you still on camera? Make sure it's on camera.
So yeah, bye guys. Please hit the subscribe button and ring in the bell, or for short, hashtag notification squad and dab on the haters.
What? How do
You
you
don't
do
need-
that? How do you dab?
Dab on the
Dab?
haters.
Do I even do it right? Oh my god, I'm so old. What?
Oh! And oh yeah, read Uncle T's book. You can buy it for $10 only. $10.
You have $10? You have $10, right? Is in the
My
bank?
parents
Well,
gave you money. Are you
Yes,
going to buy my
she
book
has
with
money
that?
in the bank.
I do have a money in the bank. So make sure to comment below. Hashtag notification squad. And dab in the haters. Remember that, guys.
Any last words, Imabel?
So cute, Sakina. I was just trying to look if there's anything else we could, let's see,
Oh,
you're cute.
thank you, Mom.
Michael McIlroy.
Boy, she's cute. Take care, guys.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. And hopefully the recording is complete. So for you guys who were not able to start the live stream, you can still catch what you missed and watch out for the videos. And you can still check out the several videos we have on the channel because we got messages asking about more videos. If you haven't seen all of them yet, go check them out, and I know you'll enjoy them. We're doing our best to make videos to entertain you, inform you, and inspire you. God bless you all. Till next time.
All right,
Remember,
guys.
dab in the haters and hashtag notification squad.
Okay.